All right, I greet you in peace and in love and hopefully in understanding. Once again, got to go back to why I'm doing all this stuff. And it's because even though we have a lot of the knowledge and the wisdom of Kemetic spirituality, there's like nobody teaching it or preaching it, or I guess that's what it is. So the teacher type thing inside of me, and then people have come to me and asked me to teach. So, and because I stopped, and you know, because it was a lot of, let me be honest, it was a lot of hassle, and it is a lot of hassle. And you know, so if I guess if I was like a real selfish person or whatever, then I could just be like, you know, forget it. But I can't, and also it's like a calling inside of me, so I can't stop it. But anyway, so these 42 negative confessions of Ma'at, and usually I don't do a lot of reading and stuff like that. Like before I do things, I like to let the Spirit lead me, and that's what I've done. I just will preface this with that I did write the negative confessions down just as a point, so that I won't say something that's incorrect or whatever. And then also the other thing that you must realize, there's like, if you go and you search out stuff, there's like a bunch of these that have 42 whatever, but they're not all the same. So people have plagiarized it, people have copied it, people have changed words, all that kind of stuff. So you have to take all of it. That's why I say internalize it spiritually, meditate on it, you know, pray about it, all that kind of stuff. So don't think that, you know, that all of this is like etched in stone, because it's not. But it is a good foundation for anybody spiritually. I'll preface it like that, okay? It's a good foundation, and so that's why I'm doing it. Not that I think that it's like the end-all, tell-all of everything, but it is foundational information. All right, and so this is also the other thing is these 42 negative confessions are found in the Egyptian book of the dead, which was changed. Of course, see, this is this type of stuff that I mean. Okay, like the Egyptian book of the dead was changed into that, but the original name was the Papyrus of Anai, and then it was called what? The Book of Coming Forth by Day. And so they changed it to the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and to make people afraid to read it. Or if they weren't afraid, they would think that the information contained within was somehow evil, demonic, or it was negative, or there was something about it that wasn't, you know, proper. But I'm here to tell you that most of your religious books have a lot of their origins in this papyrus. So it is the origin of a lot of stuff that you believe. So that's why I always tell you, I said, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. And so, yeah, so, but the other, you know, the other, how many minutes is it, whatever the minutes are, how the rest of those minutes is wrong as hell, right? So that's why I say that. And I just want y'all to understand that there are good things in every single ancient text. There are good things, but along with that, there are bad things, and there are some things that the authors and other people put in, or that the authors put in under threat or force of threat, or authors wrote as scribes or slaves, slave scribes and all of this stuff. So you have to understand how all of this stuff unfolded. But this was like one of the original, this was a pristine document, because there have been laws. The Ten Commandments is like a baby. Once we go through these 42 negative confessions, you'll be like, the Ten Commandments is like the 42 negative confessions little child. Because of how it see, human nature. I don't know how many of y'all got kids, but human nature, I got 7 kids and 5 grandkids, and I think counting. It's like I think we got more on the way. But okay, so if you look at a kid, right? Innately, a kid actually, and I've talked about this like for years. It's like, if you look at a kid actually knows like what's going on. They're more intelligent, and they may not have like confidence, but if they do something wrong or anything like that, because it's spiritual at that point. If they do something that they know they're not supposed to be doing, they look around. So who told them, like, if they don't have any point of reference, who told them that whatever they're about to do was wrong? What told them? It was the spirit. That's what I'm saying. So this stuff starts at an early age. It doesn't just all of a sudden, boom, oh, I'm enlightened. Nah, that's not how that works. And I've been studying this stuff for years, and I don't consider myself to be enlightened. Not completely. I don't think I'm like 7th chakra, like walking around, because I've seen people that can leave out a body, that can levitate, all that kind of stuff, because of their spiritual, their spiritual knowledge and their spiritual abilities and the things that they do. And then some people will be like, that's that. But look, all things are possible to him or her that believe. If you believe something, it's real to you. That's what I keep telling y'all. Because how could all of the things that are, like all of the man-made things that are in the world, how did they get here? And through what process were they created and then manifested? And it's all the same process. It's just that some people are using the process, some people are not. And then there's a group of people that don't want to use the process. But the people that do, 9 times out of 10, they are successful in being able to, once again, manipulate the material world. Or manifest, whatever whatever word, but that's really what's going on. Okay. So as we move into this age of enlightenment, it still goes down to what? The foundation. That's like I was talking about the Kundalini and saying that, look, your root chakra, the fact that okay, all of this stuff, all the nasty stuff in life, it takes place at your root chakra, right? And all of the simplistic stuff, because they don't want you, because not, and I shouldn't say they, but it's not, you're not designed So you're designed to get a little bit at a time, and as it rises up in you, you know, which is once again why they vilified the snake and all of these things, because these things to the original priests, right? They looked at this thing and they said, okay, whoa, because they looked at nature. Even all of the so-called gods in our polytheistic system, which is 100% wrong. We don't have like ancient Africa did not have a polytheistic system. They taught you that you were God. And so that's the rub. It's like, and the fact that you are the God, or the God class, generator, operator, destroyer, that thing, which is what they made up and called God, not what you think God is from reading that book. And they understood certain things. And then they came along and they said, well, this stuff has power in it, so how can I pervert it? Or how can I take the power and how can I use it for what I want to use it for? Forget, you know, not even, and a lot of times it didn't even come down to good or evil. It was just like, you know, this is something that I want to be, you know, pleasurable. And once again, Kemet was not the first place that this stuff happened. It's just the first place that they really wrote everything down and recorded a history. But this was going on for thousands and thousands of years, right? And these principles and these things, this is how they lived. How do you think you get, you know, go back to the oldest, how do you think you get 1,000,000-year-old bones? Or find like in Ethiopia, like you find 1,000,000-year-old bones, or, you know, in the East African corridor, and in Sudan, they found, you know, human remains that have been literally hundreds of thousands of years old, or millions of years old in some instances, which predates even ancient Kemet, that predates it a long. The geologists and the what do they call those people that work with water? I don't know the correct term, but is it geothermal? But anyway, they have a way to date stuff. And so the people that looked at the foundation of the Sphinx came up with like a minimum age of the Sphinx is like 50,000 years. And this is something we can see and touch still here right now today. So that's what, so you gotta put everything, and especially that timeline, because a lot of people think that because they mention Egypt in the Bible that somehow it's in the same, but it's not even, like, the Bible is 2,000 years old, 2,500, you know, to 3,000, and then even then, if you put on, it only chronicles about 5,000 years. So even if you take that 50,000 years and you subtract let's say 10,000 years or whatever of what was going on in the Bible, 10,000 years. So that still only puts us at You know, that still puts us 40,000. That the stuff that you're looking at from ancient Africa is at least 40,000 years ago. So that's what I'm trying to. So if you put it on the timeline, so all of the Judeo-Christian religions that everybody's like fighting and over, all of those religions, they're the same, and not only are they the same, but they're about the same age, with probably like Islam being the youngest, the baby. But everything else, you know, and so you got to understand the evolution. And so what did they do when the Greeks and the Romans went into Kemet in order to try to invade their priesthood? Because why would they want to invade their priesthood? Because that was the original plan, was to invade the priesthood, was to figure out what their religion, what their spiritual system was, because they knew that that's what was making them successful. That was making them to survive and to thrive in the earth. And it had been going on. See, they realized this had been going on for, you know, for many, many thousands of years. So they understood survival. They knew how to survive. They knew how to you know, they knew all of the, you know, they had a lot of these people had like very complex civilizations. And even if you talk about their so-called, you know, the Middle East, the Holy Land, all that kind of stuff, it fails in comparison. And there is no archaeological evidence, information, or anything like that of anything that exists in that region. And the stuff that is made up is more so like shrines and stuff like that they've created, that they say, oh, this is the spot right here. So they, you know, put a lot of candles or whatever. But, you know, the stuff, even in Sudan, it speaks for itself. You go to Sudan and look at those pyramids, you're like, wow. And then knowing the fact that they line up, they coordinate with solar systems and stars that are outside of our planet, and many of them outside of our solar system, and most of them outside of our solar system. So to call these people primitive, or to call these people like, because they knew, and they still do, they know more than we do, or they knew more than we do. Some of the stuff that they did that we know that they had to be able to do, right? All right. They had to know more than what we know, and we still cannot figure out what they did to build certain things, or what certain things were, or even the fact that they were able to produce energy. And I know, like I said, that's where I began this whole thing, is like energy, seeing that pyramids had power and that they had energy, and it's just a structure. So how did they know that? That's what I'm saying. See, like stuff like that, it's like, how did they know that? And then to know that they did know that, you have to give them their props. Give them their props, you know. And then they survived. Like I said, they survived without there was no modern, you know, all the stuff we would die without, you know. They survived and thrived. I mean, even, and then, you know, and then once you got to a Kemet type situation, look at the artifacts, like like, I was so sorry. It's like King Tut's coffin is like, if you've never seen it, it's like, wow. You know, it's like the most elaborate piece of jewelry. It's like a piece of jewelry. A huge, I mean, it's like awesome. You know, I mean, it's priceless. So give these people their due. Give these people their props. And I'm not just talking about, you know, I'm talking about everybody that was in that Eastern African, sub-Saharan, that corridor, you know, because we were forced. And see, here's the other thing: as African Americans, as people that were descendants of slaves from West Africa, the reason why they understood, they knew that the people in West Africa were the brightest and the best, was because they had exiled them there. That's where the Egyptians, that's where these Egyptians ended up. They ended up, because they had to, Egypt was conquered and captured and pillaged and plundered, and it's still being pillaged and plundered to this day. People are robbing it, still everything. It's been like that. And so those people, the people that are there, those are not Kemites. They're not. The Kemites are in, you know, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, Sierra Leone. That's where they are. Gambia, the Gambia, right? Oh, that's where they are. And everybody's like, you know, you know. But that's the story. If you look at the migration, and we all started off in like the sub-Saharan East Africa area, that's where it seems like the origin of life is. All right. Anyway, so now I don't even feel like I could even, and I'm giving y'all the setup. That's what I'm trying to do, is give you the setup, so you can understand that by the time books like the Quran and the Bible and, you know, what am I trying to say, the Old Testament, the quote unquote, you know, so those are the three books that are all actually combined together, but they're all plagiarized from this stuff. Or they were written under duress and stress, or they were, you know, they were in captivity. The priests out of Kemet were put into captivity and forced to write this stuff. They were the scribes. That's why it's intertwined. If you understand Kemetic, if you understand Kemetic priesthood stuff, you understand that they took all of that stuff and all they did was they put it in the Bible, they put it in the Quran. You could tell they put it in there, but they disguised it. And the people that were authorizing them to do it, who were telling them what to do, and telling them what to write and what to da-da-da-da-da-da-da, they did what they told them to do. But they hid stuff in there. What am I, you know, because if you go in there, it tells you, you know, Old Testament and New Testament, it tells you that you are God. It tells you. It just doesn't come straight out and tell you, because they, you know, because they want, you know, because certain people are going to break through and they're going to be enlightened. But they, you know, but they don't want the masses to understand that they can actually also be enlightened. They don't want that. That's something that's not one. So this is not, you know, this is something that everybody was not privy to. And the other thing you have to realize is that in ancient times, everybody, you know, everybody was not allowed to read. Everybody was not allowed to, and especially not allowed to read the Bible. So that's how come you had this class of people that were like scribes and stuff like that. Those were the people that actually did the reading or the writing. But we put it into our terms because we have a different system. So we put them into our terms because I can go to the bookstore, I could buy a Bible right now or buy a Quran right now. Right? The Torah, that's what I was trying to, that was the word I was trying to get. So you got the Torah, the Quran, and the New Testament, the Gospels, right? And so everything and all of that stuff it was all written by the same people, and it's all predicated on the power and control, or keeping control, power and control over the masses, and being able to collect taxes and tithes and offerings and all that kind of stuff in the church. It was a business. And a lot of the principles that ended up coming down later on, the reason why they came down the way they did was because of business. So even the concepts of like heaven and hell and purgatory, heaven and hell and purgatory were created as money-making schemes. The church, if I was you go to the Roman Catholic Church, the priest comes, he says, okay, your loved one committed sin, this, that. So what we'll do is we'll forgive, we'll get your loved one's sin forgiven for such and such and such amount of money. They just died, and right now they're, then you go to the priest tell you that your loved one is in purgatory, they haven't made it in, they haven't been sent to hell, whatever. And then you even got religions, out there that believe that you could pray your loved one's soul out of hell. Those type of things. And it's just, and that's why, once again, honor all altars, because that's what somebody believes. They believe that. If they believe that, then for them, it's true, it's real. It's real to them. It may not be real to you or me, but to them, it's absolutely 100% real. So that's one of the things that you have to realize. So that's why you honor all altars. You don't disrespect anybody else's religious or spiritual practices, because that's them. That's their path. And so, and then when we get a whole bunch of people, even when we get a whole bunch of people, say they're in a congregation of a religion, even when you get a whole bunch of people together, everybody is not going to agree 100% because we're not a monolithic type being. That's not us. But it's to the advantage of people that are trying to make money and stuff like that to make us monolithic. That's to their advantage. Or to make you think that you're stuck, like that, what's that, like where the horse is not really tied up, he's tied to a stick or something like that, that he's like 2,000 times bigger, and he doesn't realize that he can just walk away at any time he wanted to, right? But he thinks he's tied up. So that's kind of where our whole thing is with spirituality. It's like you going through spirituality, you realize you're free. You realize the everything that's in your spirit and in your soul and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, wow, So Once again, I did not get these 42 negative confessions because I really want y'all to understand that this is not, these are things, these are self-help things. All right, so I'm gonna say the first 5 again. And I feel the reason why I'm laughing is because I never end up saying what I plan to go here and say. I don't even say what I dream. Like, I don't even say what I dreamed last night. It's funny. So, anyway, I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain man nor woman. I have not stolen food. All right, so those are the first 5. And I have not committed sin. I have not committed robbery with violence. I have not stolen. I have not slain man or woman. I have not stolen food. So those are the first 5, and I want to go next time because now it's just like getting in there. And what I want to do is I want to go over like some of the origins and the tenets and why these things are there, and also the other thing is and that's why I say some of these words do not mean the same thing because they're in English, and in a lot of instances, especially in ancient languages, you'll discover that there were not words for certain things, even in Hebrew. So when you go back and you read certain things, you have to, they're out of context, because if you don't understand the language, or if there was no word created in that language at that time, then what you're saying may or may not be true. Anyway, so with that said, thank you very much for tuning in once again. Everything is predicated right now on celebration. Celebrate. Enjoy your life. Enjoy everything, because this age of enlightenment is like, as things start to unfold, as you start to see them unfold, just remember there's always been trials and tribulations in the earth, always, since it's been here. So and a lot of times people use fear and all that kind of stuff to try to motivate. I'm telling you that's not it. Fear and grief and pain and all of that stuff, that's all designed to keep you at a lower vibration, to make you vibrate lower. And what I'm telling you is vibrate as high as you can. Vibrate, shine, or in terminology, shine your light. Let your light shine. Let your light shine. Celebrate people, celebrate good things, celebrate whatever it is. Celebrate your family, your friends, everybody. That's so important at this time. It's very, very important. And smile and laugh and greet each other and say, hi, and stop. And we got to get rid of hater culture, and we got to get rid of cancel culture. We got to get rid of these things. Because that's not, we're the human race. And once again, we're not, and I say this about black people all the time, but it's about all the human race, period. We're not monolithic. We're not all the same. We're not ever gonna all be the same. We're never, that's that, and for groups of people to believe that somehow or some way that their group of people is superior or anything like that is crazy. It's just that we're all different. And we have to accept those differences. And that's love. That's universal oneness. Anyway, love y'all. Celebrate. Have a good time. Love one another. I'm looking at these things. I'm never...